Hey folks, welcome to another video where I do daily targets from CSSBattle.dev from the past. These are from the 15th, 16th, and 17th of February 2024. Let's get right to it. Some interesting shapes here today. This is definitely one where I think it's an element and it's got a border. So let's set a background to start with. And the question is, what's the simplest we can do? I think this ends up being two elements because of the way this border is. The question is, what two elements are they? Is it two elements, each of which has this solid border? Or is it two elements, one of which is solid, and then the other has this light purple lavender border? I think it's two, and they both have this kind of border. So let's do that. Let's just presume that we're going to have that. It's going to be something like border solid 15 pixels solid something. Okay, let's take a look at that. And I think each one's going to have its own individual margin. So let's start with that as well. And then it's going to be a variable because the second one is going to be on top of the other one, so we use margins to move it up, move the second one up. Dash M to make it a variable. 20, 60, 80 moves it inward, 90 moves it inward more, 92. Okay, and then the top margin 4, 5. Okay. So, okay, let's make it taller. Actually, let's go ahead and do the border radius. So we got these top two are 0 border radius, and then this has a border radius to it. So border radius 0, 0, 50 pixels, 50 pixels. So not enough, and I guess the borders are not big enough either. They need to be 20 pixels, and that looks rightish. And we're going to use, okay, so in the spirit of, okay, let's give it some height. 100 now, 120, 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 160. More border radius. How about 100 and 100? Okay, so that's the first part of this. And I think I want to set the inner color to be this color. So now we need, so I guess border width wise, we don't need this. What we need is border width 0, or border width 0, 20 pixels, 20 pixels, 20 pixels, like that. And that just gets us our U, and then we need to be a little taller, don't we? Because box sizing has adjusted. All right, so there's that. And then the second one, that means border width needs to be slightly different. Bar of, we'll call J border width. I know it's not a good name, but that's okay. So P plus P has a border width of 20 pixels. And then margins, oh, and I guess that's J, dash J. Yeah, and then the margins need to be negative. And there, it just plopped up. Minus 100, we'll do numbers for all of them. And then this number needs to be more, 30. And actually, we only need two numbers, 50, 60, 70, 80. So we want to make that as wide as the inner one. 100, 10, 20, 30, and then we move it up. Minus 200, maybe it's 132, 3, 4, 5. And the height also is less tall, so var dash dash h, comma, or 180, which is the current height of the one behind it. And then dash dash h is going to be some number, 50, let's say. 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120. And that's how you get those shapes. So that's 2 elements. Now the body right now, we had that temporary placeholder, but I think we just need a linear gradient, background, linear gradient, which we're going to say 20 pixels, and then the rest of it is like that. And then to move it down, we use our position. We say position is 0, and then down 30 pixels, 40, 50, something like that. There we go. Nice. Let's submit and see if we got it right. Waiting on the CSS Battle servers, and that is 100% match. We unit replace and minify, and we have completed that one. That's a fun, straightforward element. And there are other options. You could do multiple iconic gradients to do that one as well. All right, next. Interesting shape. I feel like this is definitely one of those cases of a pretty straightforwardly multi-element approach. You could do this with, so I did one the other day that I did all inset box shadows on the body to get inward, and I think that that's inappropriate in this case. But I feel like, you know, setting margins, probably 10, 40, something like that. Okay, if we set margin here, we're going to need a margin top of some kind. Probably 50, 55, and then our height needs to be some reasonable number, 40, 50, 60. So then as I add more, okay, and so that margin is what, 15? There it is. Now we're not quite evenly spaced. I see. So the second one, we'll call that B, has a different height. So B has a height of 40, and that does it. Oh, and then our margins are not quite right. 5, 4, 3, 5, 45. Okay, so that's what's left over. Now, is there something I can do to the background? And then let's variabilize the height here, just so we can do dash dash h instead of the full word height. Okay, now I think we want to make the margins, push it in a little bit more. Var dash dash m 1545, and then the margins here with dash dash m is going to be 1560 or something. Oh no, more. So this is the 1545 is what I want here for the middle one, which is the exception. And then this one has more margin, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, and then we're in the realm of iconic gradient, I think. I like iconic gradient, but I kind of want to do practice of a linear gradient here. So let's do that. Okay, so what's a linear gradient look like to do this? 90 degrees, transparent, comma, and then this light color, and it's at 0, 0, and then it's 20 pixels across. No, 40 pixels across. Or is it 80? Something like that. And then it has a height of 20 pixels and a repeat on the x-axis only. So that's the idea I've got. Is it a good idea? I don't know. I can't tell yet. All right. And then if we set this transparent part to have a variable var. Oh, and the other thing we need. The other thing we need is a backup color. And then that means that we can't use transparent, but we will use the color. There it is. Okay, so for B, we want to not set that number. Var dash dash, call it K. K, and then for this one, K is just, K is 0. K, like that. K is 0. That's not working. Why isn't that working? Dash dash K. Because of the semicolon missing. Okay, so that works like that. And then our height there, oh, that height is wrong. 4. There it is. Okay, so what do I need to do to this background? So I've got the background gradient working how I want, and then I guess I need to flip the third one upside down. And to do that, I do C scale -1, and that will work. But we don't have the width of this. What was it, 60? 80? Oh, close. Oh, 80. There it is. All right, there we go. That's what I meant. All right, let's submit that. So a single linear gradient with a small adjustment can be solid, right? We're basically saying this green color, which is this, we give it 0 size, right? So we type in red, that's that part. And then just to show you, we'll do blue, and that's that part. And so this is what we're seeing. Linear gradient, 90 degrees, red, var of K, which is default to 50%, and blue of 0. And so with red being a color stop and ending at 0 means, well, you're not going to see it. I mean, it's there in the gradient in the spec, and you might be able to animate it and do all kinds of crazy stuff if you change K, but in this case, it does nothing. So let's unit put replace and minify, and we're done with this guy. He's a fun challenge there. I like that one. And I like doing that as a single linear gradient with a little bit of tweaks to the background position, sizing, and repeat. I don't think it's a better score than what I've got in the past. All right, here's the fun, funky one, because those are some interesting shapes. So we can rotate things. Rotate 45 degrees, right? We can do that. The question is, do we want to do that? What I would like to do, and I don't know if this is in the good category or the bad category, is not use elements for this. Can I do this all on the background? I don't know, and I'm not sure it's even a very good idea, but I want to try it. So let's constrain if we set that to 45 degrees. All right, let's do it. So we set the color stop and then to 20%, and then let's put the dark color in the background so we can see our contrast. 30, 31, 30, 31.5, 30.5%, 0.78. Okay. And then that means that's going to be like 70%, 0, 69.2. All right, and then if we do the same thing again, comma with a minus, don't include the word background twice. Okay. So is this a terrible idea? So far, yeah, it might be, but I don't care. All right, so let's do these middle stripes next and see if we can get something going there. Oh boy. So I'm kind of foreseeing the little bits of curve that we need to do here and thinking, oh wow, this really isn't a good idea. Yeah, no, this is a terrible idea. We want to use our advantages. In this case, aspect ratio 1. And then let's see, can we put rotate on this body? Yes, we can. And then can we display flex? And then let's make these smaller. 40. And then let's decrease our margins. And we don't even see them now. How about minus 45 degrees? How about 135 degrees? Is that any better? They're all weird and terrible and bad. What are you gonna do? How about what? And then what happens if we do multiple gap 20 pixels? That's kind of interesting. Let's put a background. And a little bigger, 50. And then how about a border radius? 10 pixels. And then let's put the correct color on there. And then what happens if we do align self? What is it? Align self? I can never remember. Align self center. Okay. And then what if we added some margins to the body? Margin 1060. Darned if that's kind of not working, or kind of working. 60, 70. Let's wrap. I don't know what that's going to do when I add more. And more. And then what happens if we do our gap of 20 and 0? Oh, crazy. We get crazy numbers. Like, I don't even know how that's going to work. Let's not do align self. Instead, let's do justify content center. Align items center. That is doing it. So let's do more. Ugh, crazy. So let's adjust the margins. 5, 10, 0. Very hard to control. Very, 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 very hard to control. So the question is, how do we do this in a way that makes sense? So if we weren't rotating things at 45 degrees or rotating things at 135 degrees, so yeah, we get slightly different. What if we put it on the elements themselves? Oh, that's actually kind of good. Look at that. So what can we do with that? So let's adjust these margins. Margin is currently 0. How about 50? 60? 60 and an 80? 70? 75? Wow. I don't know what to do with this. I think the lesson is, I believe the way I did this before was to set a container. Oh boy. Okay. Okay. We've got 3, 6, 7. We got 7 of these. So let's go ahead and put 7 in. And is there any universe where we get some kind of reasonable look and feel here? Okay, so there's space evenly, and that's kind of it. So let's make this, let's see if we can make that grid, but at a different angle. So, this is brutal. I'm not even sure I remember how to do this one. Yeah, I definitely don't remember how to do this one. Margin, right. And let's do the width, 50, 50. Okay. And then let's rotate. Okay, so we accidentally put one into position. So how do we do this? That's the question. Do we need a container? We might. That might be the only solution. Okay, so, or even more, maybe we want 9 elements. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. And let's not justify the content. And then these margins are wrong. 100. They are not. Oh, what if we put a margin of 0 on this? Okay, so that's a tighter packing, and that's a little bit better. We also have 10 of them. Okay, so this is looking a little more reasonable. So, okay, now if we do rotate 45 degrees, what do we get? Are we there? Almost. How about adjusting these margins to squeeze them in a little bit more? And then squeeze in even a little more. There we go. Oh, so yeah, that is a heck of a thing. And I'm going to get rid of this margin. Okay, because okay. So wow, that is complicated and that is hard to reason about. But it's a group of 9 things that are tightly packed in a flex box that's got flex wrap. It's just thinking about how the margins interact feels very complicated. So which one of these are different? So let's do a property P, and then make background red. So which one do we think it is? Is it this one? Yes, it is. And so does that mean it's this one here? No. Is it the last one? It is. So let's make that background transparent. Okay. And did we solve it? I don't feel good about this one, even though I was able to solve it. I believe I did a div, constrained it in that box. I might have even used grid at the time rather than flex. And then, yeah, so that's a different way to do that. And then instead of aspect ratio, we can do width equals 50. And that's fine. Background, display flex, gap, yes. Margins, yes. Flex wrap, and then rotate. A very touch and go solution there. Yeah. But again, the power of flex is really extraordinary. Also, thinking through what I need to do to, have a flex that doesn't fill. Like, so we've got this first one. Yeah, so this is going this way. And I suppose that if we did different angles on the body, we would get different things. So that's kind of interesting. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like we're seeing that rotate. That's fun. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that set of solutions. Yeah, so again, we got this guy, that guy, and that guy, all from February 2024. Slowly catching up to this year. We're getting less than a year away. I started doing these in October 2024, and I've been just working up. Thanks for watching. Make stuff with the web. The web is amazing. HTML and CSS are amazing. As you can see through these ham-handed videos of mine, you can do kind of anything in 2D space with these shapes. Really extraordinary. Have a great day. Take care of each other. Be good to each other. Bye.